top teams really take it to a level where, you know, if you don't follow that, you're going to get left in the dust pretty quickly, especially with all the new talent coming up, as I mentioned. But here we go. Ancient on the T side of Mirage and Fnatic on the CT side. And we will have Ancient going for the old faithful, the B contact.
But look at the movement of Fnatic. They've already got 2 players moving up that top mid position. So once they realize it will be a very quick rotation, there's a peek from Exist. He's seen enough. Going to drop himself a HE grenade twist, playing anti-flash boosted on default, which can be a problem to find out, especially when you're rushing around the site. So far, so good. 2 frags for Twist, looking for a third, but he'll get taken out. 3v3, and Fnatic are all over this bomb site.
Yeah, there's no relief at all here for Ancient. No spot to plant the bomb. The pressure's all on Freddy B now. But he knows where one of the 2 players are. I don't think he is aware of where the second one is. I think he's seen Brolan, but not Crims. And, well, Brolan is all that's required. And that will be the pistol there for Fnatic. So they'll be quite pleased with that one. And I am looking forward to seeing what their CT side has to offer. Because I don't know if you remember, James, but back in the old days when Mirage was, you know, first, you know, in CSGO, it was JW that really innovated the AWP game on the CT side, and he made a lot of content, you know, showing you how it was done, how you could push basically everything, and I can't wait to see some JW shenanigans with a sniper.
I remember when America were playing the old version of Mirage in their leagues, and Europe were playing the new version of Mirage. Remember that? That went on for far too long.
Ooh, can see just over that. That's not bad.
It's not bad, but nobody's up there. Don't want to get too crazy in a situation such as this. The MP9 kind of forces him to play closer range than you might like to when you know that your opponent has pistols. Freddy B's got a flashbang. Note how the bomb wasn't dropped on the floor. It was thrown from player to player, because that is a sound cue you don't want to give away, unless you're doing it deliberately. More on that later. Here comes the push. He needs a crossfire as he runs out of bullets. He will get taken out, but if it's just one person who goes down, it's okay. Maybe Brolan's expendable with the MP9. And he was a revelation when he joined the team as well, Brolan. Wasn't really... he delivered well. He's a great, promising talent, but again, you need the results around that talent as well. There's the experience on the team for him to absorb as time goes on. And it is a good start here for Fnatic. 2-0 as the AKs and the Krieg come out for Ancient.
Yeah, I think Brolan, you know, he actually was able to find much more comfort in the last 6 months or so, but there were some desperate spots, that's for sure. Either way, the AK of Freddy B there will be finding his way towards the T-steps, looking to see if he can find something, but ultimately denied by grenades. Ancient looking to split onto this A side here, looking to keep things simple. Well, I'm there with the FAMAS, can't quite find the kill. It does get a lot of damage. 2 players very weak, Rusty and Draken. However, it's like Fnatic will be locked out of the bomb site for now, except CT's been left open so they can take it. Can Crims hold on though? Nice HE, they are so weak, but where are the kills? There are still no kills. Another HE comes in, down to 2 HP for ADB. Disco Doppler down to 19. They're so weak, but will Fnatic commit?
They've got 1 flash on Rusty. He's about to throw it, but where? He's got to throw it somewhere. Hasn't gone fast enough. That was way too late. 2 of the 3 players taken out in that position, but they still have a man advantage. There's only a kit on JW. If he goes down in the wrong position, that's going to be an issue. Switching out the weapon, peeks Crux, but gets taken out. And that leaves JW with not much to do, and he will have to rotate back. A really good situation for Ancient in the numbers game. Flashbang came too late, but they win the round regardless. There's shouting behind us, which I think is from them. That's the first buy round taken away. Only JW survives, and all he has to show for it is a scout.
And that's okay, because they can. All they need to do is go for, you know, quick half buy, and they'll be onto a full buy again due to the fact that they were playing with the guns they had saved from the previous round. When I saw Crux's name for a second, my brain didn't see the R, and I was thinking Gux, but yeah, it's not.
You might want to explain that for the
it's not 1.6
younger viewers, what that means.
He's was one of the very, very good Swedish players in the 1.6 era. On Fnatic, I believe. And here we go, we've got Ancient there, looking to try to punish Fnatic. They do go for the force buy though, but you can see where it's left them. They don't have much utility, so they have to play aggressive to mitigate the lack of utility that they have. And they are aggressive towards a ramp at the very least. You got Brolan playing close with the MP9, but he's not going to push it, I don't think.
It seems that connector is a priority for Fnatic, as it should be generally in the CT side, but they had JW and Crims in that position, and Crims will stay in situ with the scout. So if he hugs this wall closely, then he can peek Palace as well without showing until he wants to, essentially. Nothing used to be fond of that position when he was playing full-time CS. 3 players moving for a potential B split, it seems. Rusty will show some presence in that connector area. That will deny information and make the rotation harder. A Molotov, that's going to cause problems for JW. He's going to move forward, but no one's there to punish it because no one's actually watching. The smoke up on Cat will stop that, but Ancient is starting to flood into the B bomb site now. We've got Exist on the balcony playing off of his teammate. We've got a rotation in through Market from JW as well. Grux not having a proper look, and there's a crossfire here for the CT, which disappears as they get melted. There's still a man advantage, though, as Brolan flies through the window and takes Rusty out, leaving Dopplan with 6 HP. He requires headshots. He needs one-taps. He can't take duels, really. Going up, he gets a cheeky one on Crims. Where are the trade fraggers? Not showing just yet. Brolan starting to creep, crouching past the box, getting closer and closer. JW is concerned as well with 14 HP, but look at the time. There's 10 seconds on the clock for the bomb to get planted. If they don't give him the jewels, doesn't matter. He'll take the jewel, JW, and he'll finish off the job. 2 players survive, 2 rifles taken by Fnatic.
That was very cool how Fnatic played that. You could see that the way that they were positioning on the B side, they're taking these peaks where they're trying to isolate 1v1s, but then realizing that, oh, okay, there's an actual full-on rush. Neither player actually committing to a full duel until the Ts were extremely committed and very deep in the site. So not only did that buy them a lot of time, they also didn't have flashes to work with to pop flash each other. So they had to try to play across a very shallow crossfire in the deepest parts of the site. So Fnatic, very often, historically, very good at those positions, but they're very passive and don't have much utility. And that's really given them a solid situation here. Ancient looking to rush into the A sites. But that Krieg that was picked up by Brolan being put to good use. And there's Crims as well. He's managed to upgrade his weapon to an AK as well. So absolutely beautiful round here from Fnatic. Grux able to find a couple on return, but he is going to be taken down as well. 4-1 for Fnatic, and it looked a little rough for a second or two, but they are back, and they are looking scary.
No fear from Crims. He knows where the player is, chooses to go through the smoke in Palace and take the jewel while they know where he is before he can disappear and get more 1v1s. So I think maybe Draken just cut off perhaps a Fnatic logo or something. Some kind of logo from his mouse pad. Maybe it's that, or maybe he just is on a trigonometry in his house. Some HEs will be thrown. They'll be exchanged in the mid position, not doing too much damage either way, in case there are players in the smoke. We've got Crims here with JW, and Dopplan will be taken out. Rusty somehow able to escape with 2 HP. Now, Freddy B has a flash, so they can try to burst into the B bomb site. Twist is here alone. Has he been boosted again? Or is he just hiding behind a box? I think he's behind the box, but he's got that fast fire rate weapon to deal with the numbers. There is no armor for these players. Can he avoid the flashbang, though? It seems so. Running out of bullets down to the USP. Repositioning towards that bench area. Got to be careful, though. And that is a perfect round from Fnatic. Everybody survives. They need to build their money as the Ts are coming back for another buy.
I like how Grux held the angle with the Deagle, expecting the short player to come and have a look at the apartments at some point, as they got so deep. I mean, if he converts that into a 1D, they probably actually take the bomb site. Now, wow. I mean, a lot of players that will do that.
5. A solid 5 for Ancient.
Yeah, well, you can see not only the fans with Fnatic, a lot of people perhaps just really weighing in on the fact that they are a much better ranked team.
Those are huge odds, man. For a best of 1.
Yeah,
those are juicy odds.
It's true. I mean, so far, though, we can see that Fnatic have looked a lot better. And they have handled some pretty rough situations. I think in particular, Ancient played that one round particularly well, up until the point where they pushed the B-bomb site, and then Fnatic still managed to somehow win that. And I don't know quite how they managed to. It was very difficult, but they made it work. And their economy is booming at this point. And one of the things that we haven't even seen brought to bear just yet, James, is the AWPs. And those will be very scary indeed. And we still won't see the AWPs except for Draken on the T side. I was referring to Fnatic instead, but it will be Draken. Maybe Fnatic can pick it up if they win this round.
We have an aggressive take of the B apartments from Fnatic, so they're limiting what Ancient can do and trying to force them into telegraphing their actions. Would be quite taxing to try and take that position back. And they'll focus elsewhere, Ancient. I don't know if they know exactly... Well, I guess they probably saw the smoke as the players move through the underpass position. We see a focus now in this connector area. Can Crims escape? Draken's looking for him, and there is the trade looking for 4 versus 4 early for Ancient. They'll be happy with that. There's over a minute on the clock for them to pull Fnatic from pillar to post.
They have no smokes though, James. They have 0 smokes. So now they're in a really dodgy position because, okay, Rusty's in connector, but that's the final smoke about to dissipate, and they've got to make their way onto the A sites. Now, there's nobody in CT, so that's something, I guess, but they will need to be able to hit those shots. Draken's going to have quite the job in his hands, and with, indeed, Brolan in that position in sandwich, I would imagine that's an unexpected spot, but they have 2 Molotovs. Will they actually throw one there? That
tiny step, if he wasn't on the step, if you had a scope, you'd see his foot through the pallet on the bottom under these bricks. But anyway, 4 versus 4. Freddie B's about to check, but he hasn't checked properly. You can see he started to move away there. A lax job, and he goes down for free. The bomb is lost, and that is the end of the round. Draken trying to hold on to his AWP. But who knows, if that corner had been checked properly, then maybe we would be seeing a different situation. I think it's a good position to visualize and be ready for someone to be there. But that's not the case on this occasion. 6-1 for Fnatic as Draken holds on to his AWP.
Yeah, that was a great hold. It was a good read from Fnatic. I think they understood based on sort of the information that they had picked up. They deduced what was the most likely outcome, and they seemed quite prepared for a push to come in through the A position. And also the sandwich spot is, it's one of the more rarely checked positions, so you're usually good to get a kill at the very least. And with the element of surprise, we see that 2 came out, and that basically crushed any chance Ancient had in that one. So the AWP will continue on Draken. He's going to be the first man in this push towards B apartments. Twist, though. Will he jump up on the box? Oh, but so beautiful. Flashbang comes in. His crosshair placement absolutely perfect. And he's repositioned for another one. But it's Grux with a beautiful peek of his own with a flashbang. So Ancient can do it too.
That had to be a pre-fire. There's no way he registers that and then shoots. That's a crazy peek from him. I was going to say, it was such a strong position for Fnatic to be in with that angle. On the van. The pop flash is beautiful. You can stand outside the window and just have such a strong, the window of market, sorry, and have a strong pop flash into the apartments. But that trade was unreal. So Ancient have the AWP on Grux and a bunch of pistols. The AWP needs to do the work. They need the AWP to take position to allow the pistols to swarm. The pistols need to stay alive for the numbers, but Freddie B's alone with the bomb. This could be disastrous. They're coming to help him, and he's going to have the great angle. The off angle is perfect, and that is it's information for Fnatic, but it's a rifle for Ancient.
We get the smoke there going down towards the short area, and Exist is going to have to hold this for him by himself for the time being. He does have Crims quickly on his wings, and another CZ kill. Down to Crims now with that Krieg. How many more can he find? Well, Freddie B has a Krieg of his own, and that will be the B-bomb site now under control by Ancient. And the question is whether or not Brolan decides to commit. It probably will try to commit if he can get a quick one, but the AWP turns away just the wrong moment, but Grux still turns back around to nail the shot. He's done some great work with that AWP so far, and that will be the 2nd round for Ancients.
Very, very unlikely rounds. An AWP, a hope and a dream, but the really awkward positioning with the CZ and B apartments most certainly helped. So props to that. Put yourself in a position to win, considering you've got the stairs, the entrance to B apps, and the deep corner to deal with it at the same time. As you're a CT that's pushing, it can get awkward, and that was disastrous for Fnatic. Is that the round which allows Ancient to get back into the game? Because look at their buy now. They've got rifles, AKs, AWP. They've got full utility. Fnatic continues to be active, though. They continue to delay to try and cause problems. They've had this aggressive smoke down before and had a little spray down with the MP9 earlier on. Now, will they be active elsewhere? There's plenty of players behind the smoke grenade, but then Brolan will have to fall off or have a 2-man setup with Crims as the smoke dissipates. Crims is just around the corner. It seems he might go for a little jiggle, and then there'll be a double peek.
I wonder if Crims even smokes behind Brolan and leaves him there. That could be a fun one, but it will be the standard setup instead. And Doppman will be there with the AK-47. It's not the AWP, which is good news for Crims. Now they actually set up some of the nades here. Crims and Brolan. This is the perfect way to try to stop a push such as this. Crims is so ready. Any flashbang will go past Crims as he tries to line this one up. He baits for Brolan, but they know the setup. They know Brolan's there. Rusty, will he push through the smoke? Absolutely, but there's the bomb. Crims takes him down, and a second one as well. And that is disastrous. Grux doing what he can, but didn't expect the second player from Catwalk, and that shuts down the flanking opportunity. So Fnatic can now defend this bomb with impunity.
35 seconds on the clock for Dopplan and Draken. Everything goes quiet, and they wonder where they are. They may realize that one is here, but do they realize that there's both? Who's going to see who first? 25 seconds. They don't have so much time to find these frags. There's a tag, but no frag. Draken still alive with 16 HP, but surely they can't keep going, Ancient. 15 seconds on the clock. There's no way of planting the bomb. In a triangle of doom, and there is the doom. 7-2 for Fnatic. They take the round straight back after an unfortunate one, or an unlikely one, from Ancient. It was a big execute with the grenades. They were pretty slow to go into the site after the grenades. And I think Fnatic, I mean, Crims is holding the angle. He never knows when it's safe to pull a grenade out. But they could have put the smoke down earlier and put a Molotov in front of it if that's what they wanted to do. They went for the duel. As his teammate went down, he held the choke point with the smoke grenade. So that was a master stroke. It's in that sense, it's okay for his teammates to die as long as he holds position, and he did. But not this time. Crims has been taken out immediately.
Yeah, that fast spawn up A ramp with the Krieg is strong. Oh my days. Broline just quickly up on towards the chair position behind that smoke. I think it's by design, actually. That's a cool smoke. And it's going to work out immensely well for Fnatic. They are ripping Ancient a new one towards that middle position, as now they have to come back and rotate towards A to check that, to make sure that no T's actually crept up in the midst of all that action towards middle. But it will be Grux reappearing in mid here to try to take some semblance of map control back for the Ancient side. And Fnatic, they can just rest now. They can just chill on the bomb sites, play passive setups, and they are good to go. You can see JW's worried about that potential boost as well. There's a variety here that, one of which could be into the window itself, which a lot of teams do go towards when they're in a situation like this, knowing that the CTs have abandoned mid.
Grux did accidentally fire his AK as well. I assume it's accidental. So they know that someone's down there. The Molotov gives more of a clue. Now that may make them think perhaps there are two players down there. 40 seconds on the clock. Twist waiting for a cat push. He has been smoked off though, but maybe JW is going to have an angle, maybe not. The smoke dissipating just a second too late. Does he go for the short play? He does, jumping on a balcony. I think somebody was looking for him, but now there's more problems for the T's as they try to carry the bomb into the B bomb site. They get sandwiched, and that's another round in the bag for Fnatic. 8-2, pulling away from Ancient now.
I'm so happy that JW made that jump across, because there's so many times when it can be a little bit finicky sometimes, but he absolutely nails it, and actually known for his movement, especially when JW first burst onto the into Counter-Strike Global Offensive, and we started to see him performing on Fnatic initially. His movement was a central part of how good his ult play was, and you can see him on camera there. Been in the game a long time, still delivering, and that round could have gone sideways, especially after they lost that first frag immediately. I wonder if we'll see that smoke again. I wonder if that's actually a setup to get a player up to the bench position, because it looks like there's a tiny portion of that smoke that did cover the exact spot where you can jump up. So I'll have to check, look for that.
One to check in the demo.
Yeah.
That was an interesting one. And we're back. 8-2 is the score. We've lost JW. So it is a 5 versus 4 for Ancient, and that's what they need with 2 MAC-10s on the go. I can't see how JW died, but never mind. Or even who fragged him. But here we are. All right. Fight around the B bomb site. And Crims is trying to hold things down. Showing presence while Exist can take advantage of that, taking Disco Dopplan out. He's going to get traded, though. Freddy B, 1 versus 2. And everything slows down. He has a minute. He needs to figure out where these players are. You can see Twist is rotating to put his team in a better position to win. Still plenty of time for Freddy B. The longer he waits without being seen, the more places he could be coming from as well. You can see Crims moving back into a more passive position, but he's been spotted. Takes a while to figure out where he's been spotted from, but he can't quite get the fatal connection. I wonder what happened to JW.
Well, it doesn't matter now.
I was trying to see on the UI who got the kill, but I couldn't see. I couldn't spot one, so I don't know what exactly happened there.
Server admin.
Slayed.
He was slayed.
He was slayed in console.
Yeah.
He was slapped to 2 HP in the ceiling and fell to his doom.
It actually is triggering me a little bit that Crims has so much slack on his mouse cable. And when he's moving his mouse around, he's just dragging around like a foot of cable. So, either way, we'll have a quick shot here from JW getting revenge for the death previously. And looks like it'll be a pretty easy hold here against the Pistols. They're just running in. Oh, okay. Well, a couple Deagle shots by Disco Dotplan will make things very different here for Fnatic. JW needs to be cautious now. USP is out, knows that they don't have helmets.
I love that he refuses to leave this position with the AWP. So he could have just left. It's like, nope, I'm going to stand here with a USP instead. That's the JW you want to see. And now surely he gets a free kill. Surely that smoke becomes a bait. Indeed it does. You'll only see this from JW. Beautiful. Absolutely ridiculous 4K. That's why he's on the team. That's just excellent. That's literally another day in the office for JW.
That was good stuff. They will defeat the pistol onslaughts, and things will resume as normal. Lots of work to be done here by Ancient, that's for sure.
It's a very tall admin. 3 AWPs on the server, one of which is on Ancient, but even more scopes. We start to see the Augs coming out. One for Brolan, and there's also a Krieg for Rusty. They've got a double peek from Ancient. They're waiting for a push from Fnatic. Exist doesn't overextend, maybe wanting to show a little shoulder. Trying to bait a shot or some information. Now, this smoke is very ruinous. Oh, there's a gap, but it's still ruinous because it just slows Ancient down. They're taking the game away from their opponent, Fnatic, as we mentioned before. They're imposing their will. So they're aggressive top mid and they're aggressive in B apartments. This might cause an over-rotation towards A. As you can see on the radar, there's almost 4 people around the A bomb site, but now they see some presence. Ancient have to take something back. They've given up way too much at this point. They've used almost half the round Fnatic and not allowed Ancient to do anything. So it's going to make it really rough, whatever they choose to do, Ancient, going forward.
See, Brolan's just waiting for the last possible moment to try to throw that smoke safely, because they know that middle will be contested now. You can see delayed contestation from Ancients, as they will definitely be playing down to the wire as far as the time is concerned. Trying to move in towards this connector position, but that smoke from Brolan really killed a lot of time. And now connector is under control, but Twist will spot them. That is a problem. He's playing from Ticket, and that is really difficult to deal with. You have to somehow push up, but they're all lining up for him. He will get taken out, but again, 18 seconds to get the bomb planted, and they have to start moving forwards. And nice trade out from JW, taking down the AWP threat, but there is Exist. He was hiding all along, and there's no time to plant the bomb. They have to desperately run to their doom. And Ancient, as you said, James, though, they played it slow, and Fnatic punished them so hard by, oh, you're not going to take map control? Well, I guess we're going to take it then, and then we'll drop smokes everywhere. It's going to kill all your time. Yeah,
that really deep, the combination of the really deep smoke and then the presence shown in B apartments as well from Fnatic just stops you from doing everything. If you go towards A, you can probably expect there to be more people there because they've made it easy for themselves, Fnatic, elsewhere. They were ready to have 4 people on A should a push come in, but Ancient are just waiting out. Like, okay, we got a minute. Let's wait out these smokes, take mid, and try and do the normal stuff. But you've got time pressure on your side as well, an extra advantage for Fnatic. And here we are. Tactical pause for Ancient. They need to pick up some more rounds before this half ends, for sure. They need some kind of space moving into the second half. I'm trying to peep Crims's his mouse cord length now.
I know, you need to see it.
As you mentioned it.
He has not been on camera since I mentioned that, so unfortunate. But either way, because there was a moment when he was on camera before and you're shaking it around, there's just so much.
We might see a fast round here from Ancient. Maybe trying to catch Fnatic off guard as they continue their aggression. They are in a 1-2-2 setup at the moment, Fnatic, and Ancient are just creeping in. 3-man on road as they move out with the bomb in tow. They've got a Bear and Palace as well, but they've got enough to stop Brolan 1-for-1 as they try to choke off the jungle position.
Yeah, only one indeed. Oh, that's a nice flick from JW. That is such a good shot to hit right before the bomb is able to go down as well. So that allows Fnatic to take more aggressive positions, and they may even be able to stop the bomb from going down entirely. The smoke grenades will soon wear away here for the Ancient side, and Twist will push forwards. The bomb is planted, but it serves to make Grux an easy frag for Twist. He is traded out, but there's too much work to be done. Man, I want to see that flick again. That was sublime from JW. Exist will defuse, and that'll be 12-2. Fnatic dominating Ancients.
12-2. 5 AKs out for Ancient. Plenty of utility as well. The fast play, the cheeky quiet play into A didn't work out as they would have liked. And we move into the last round of the first half. JW 11 for 4. Brolan leading the charge 16 to 8. It's what you want your young boys to be doing on the squad. And it seems after a fast play towards A, there'll be a fast play towards B. It is rush B, no stop. There's a HE. Will it do any damage? It looks pretty meaty to me. We've got a spray down from Exist as well, but only good for 1. Trying to get through the window and failing. It makes it easy for Twist. Stuck in the choke point are Ancient. The bomb falls away. And the round and the chances for 3 rounds are falling away as well. Kraken standing around the smoke, and that's going to be that. A dominant half from Fnatic all over this one. 13 for 2.
Look at it, James. See, there it is, the chord. Oh my God, dragging that around, crazy. But he's still performing, as is the rest of Fnatic. What a beautiful half from them. It is looking very confident indeed, but it is time for a commercial break. We'll have to see if Ancient can come back after this. Welcome back, ladies and gents. It will soon be the second half here now between Ancient and Fnatic, and it might be a very short one unless Ancient can get that pistol and get themselves in gear, because Fnatic look indomitable thus far in this Swedish matchup.
I wasn't sure if that coach was holding a book or a shiny iPad cover. It looks pretty cool, though. Maybe there is a secret in there which will allow them to have a comeback in this second half, because it was a pretty difficult first half. We saw some good things from Fnatic. It's always great when you're not afraid to be aggressive on the CT side. There's no doubt. There was no doubt in the play from Fnatic. They were confident with what they chose to do, and they had good individual performances as well. Twist and Brolan fighting on the leaderboard for first place, both with 17 frags at the moment. In fact, their stats are the same, 17, 1, and 8. 13 to 2. We see a P250 for Crims. He's been dropped to P250 by Exist. He is the raid boss. If I remember correctly, I think it's just shy of double the range for a one-shot versus a Glock, so really important on a nice open map. JW gets abused by the range of Freddy B's USP. Good start for them, and there's the P250 loss. Crims gets eliminated.
Yeah, and you hate to see it. 2 players going down very quickly on the T side of a pistol, but it looks like they'll still get position on the B side, and a bomb plant is about to be possible. Yep, they'll have enough time for that one, but it's going to be a very difficult affair to hold on to it. Exist needs to guarantee it, and indeed he will. 2 versus 5, make it a 1 versus 4 now as Twist is the last man standing, and well, that will be that. That will be that. But Fnatic got the money
it's a team
from
ace.
the bomb plant, so that's going to be very impactful, because they could decide to just force buy this into this next round.
Team ace from Ancient, everybody contributing. Everyone gets a little kill bonus from the pistol rounds.
Force buy.
2 M4s coming out. Ooh, Freddy B's gone for the early M4 and no helmet. That is not something you see every day, but risks must be taken. I just hope he doesn't get glocked.
So we get the Krieg armor from Brolan, and this will be quite fun. We've seen more and more half-fives like this in recent times. It's a really creative way to keep the damage up but still be able to buy in the following round, and maybe you just outright win the rounds. the Krieg is so dangerous. And Bron's actually waiting for a push up middle, which is actually what some people like to do to shut down the eco round, which they may be expecting.
So I guess Exist donated the Krieg to Broland since he's got a 550 and a Glock. Maybe if Ancient read that there's probably going to be a full spy here, that may have something to do with the lack of the helmet on Freddy B. He's in the connector position for the time being, just keeping an eye on the lower area. No one in the window for Ancient. Grux deep with the FAMAS. Rusty towards B with the MP9. And again, the slow creep from Fnatic is beautiful. Grux deleted immediately. You can have minimal response to this because look at this. Fnatic have swarmed. They've got 5 players on the A bomb site. Just like Dust 2, this makes you do wonder if this is going to be safe territory soon.
Yeah, that damage onto Dotplan is very damning because there's all these Deagles. That's a one-shot kill onto Dotplan now from them. But looks like the rifles will be quite effective here. The flashbangs, the utility in general is also doing its work here to allow Ancients back into a retake position, but still there is a threat. JW, the only man with a rifle, is forced into the open by the Molotov as the Fnatic players continue to try to defend this bomb, but they are dwindling one at a time. Crimson, oh, he can only get one there. The bomb will be defused, but 2 kills and a bomb plant again. I'm sure, I'm 100% sure. Well, they're not even going to be force buying. They actually, most of the players had $2,000 to begin that round with, so they're going to have a full buy here. So if they win it, that's probably the game if Ancient are not able to stop this next round.
Almost a clean 4-man retake, which would have been pretty cool for Ancient. Maybe the score is too great. Although I think it's not quite Dust 2, so I think if they lost a second player quickly and it wasn't 14, then maybe there's a chance of a save. But anyway, they could not afford to do that, and they couldn't afford to lose too many players, so I think they got checked for both those boxes. But again, the way back is going to be a long and arduous one, and maybe there's a tactical pause from them just to discuss what to expect from the likes of Fnatic, get the Chinese abacus out, do the numbers, and indeed it is a solid buy from Fnatic. Even Exist isn't too short after the previous round donation, AK-47 full armor and a smoke. Be happy with that, all things considered. And the pressure will be maximum for Ancient pretty much instantly.
Yeah, they're basically dead. If they lose this round, they'll be up against match point almost.
13, not 14, excuse me.
And Fnatic looking to go for A. They've got JW there in the smoke on Catwalk, and here comes the A push. JW looking to cut off rotation from Catwalk, but meanwhile, Bracken will be able to defend one. The flashbangs coming in will make life a bit more complicated here for the likes of Fnatic. They're unable to get the frags that they need to break the positions. Even though JW's got mid control, the bomb is lost on well, just around Sandwich and Tetris, and that's surely a wrap at this point. JW in a 1 versus 4. He does have full HP and some utility, but Ancient have all the information they need, and they've got the bomb.
They have pretty good coverage around the A bomb sites at the moment. They don't know where JW is, but they're okay with their off angle. It's going to be really hard for JW to have an impact in this round, based on the time that's left. Looking for all the angles he may be afforded. Now, as Rusty starts to move forward, maybe he could get caught off guard, but Grux might change position as well. It's a little activity from Ancient. Again, it's important that they survive in the numbers, because even if they keep winning rounds but with only 2 players or something, they could still have shortcomings in their buys, and they really can't afford to have that. So they'll be patient. And now we head to the 20-second mark. I do wonder if this will just be a save for JW. And it looks like that's going to be the case. Picking his spot, and again, Ancient will survive with 4 players. So they've got a little room to breathe with. I misread before and thought they had 14 Fnatic, but they've got 13, so they've got 2 rounds.
I mean, they could actually force around this, because even though they don't have $4,000, most players are between $2,000 and $3,500. And given that JW has the AK-47, if they have a faster round where they don't need as much utility, or a round, and I mean, they can also half buy with the AK-2. They have all these options, but the AK certainly improves their chances to win this round dramatically. Given the previous round where if JW just tried to do something, he's certainly losing that round regardless. But great work from Draken there with the Krieg. Round not going quite as Fnatic had hoped it to go. And indeed, we'll see the half buy around the AK-47. And in comes Ancient to meet them in middle, but some whiff shots from Freddy B, and Draken will spell absolute horrors here on the middle position, and it gets even worse. The A bomb side is now up for grabs perhaps, but Disco Doppler, he's the only line of defense here to stop them getting in from Connector, and he will not be able to do so, although he does do some good damage.
If that went in, I do wonder. The bomb moves away now. Realizing they've been spotted with the bomb in connector, they'll start to move towards the B-bomb site. So they are aware of the information they've given to their opponent, and they're going to play against that. It's guesswork for Ancient. There's only 2 players to defend. So much time for Fnatic to burst anywhere. Now, how much risk do you take? Does Rusty try and make a play towards Shadow, towards Palace? Either way, he's going to be very, very far away from Doppler. Do they use the grenades first? They do. There's a Molotov for the default plant. That will help him have some cover, but he won't be expecting to play to his right-hand side, but Cribbs can't land the shots in time. Now JW is the last man standing. He hasn't jumped out of the balcony just yet, and now he has to realize that the second player is going to be rotating closer and closer every second that ticks.
I think he's expecting to find that rotation from the shop, but from Market. Now it's, oh my goodness, he actually did find the peak of Rusty there, but that shot from, or those missed shots from Crims, that was it. That would have been the round if Crims had killed that player he's after, and instead it will be the round for Ancient. So they hold on by a thread. But for how much longer can they hold on? And Fnatic, they're in a position where they half-bought last round, so they got the full buy out here now. The AWP makes its appearance on Twist, going towards middle. And aggression there from Ancient on the middle position. Grux is looking to make his way forwards, but seeing the Molotov, he will fall back. Twist himself also needs to fall back behind the smoke. Didn't want to give up that position. JW gets all the information of middle, though, so he can actually allow his teammates to come out top mid now, as they will, to go for this take. And lots of utilities being used by Ancient to try to take mid, but they were unsuccessful despite losing no players. I think you could wager that Fnatic are still in a better position as they have more map control and more utility.
Draken's in a forward position in the apartments. I don't know if he's got an angle towards... Yeah, he does. This is pretty important because this information is really helpful for Ancient to put more players elsewhere. Freddy B's pushed Palace while they're pushing B-Apps at the same time. Freddy B took out Crims around the A side of the site. So what do Ancient read Fnatic's play to be? They're so deep here. This angle's surely not going to get checked by JW. Surely this is a free kill for Doppler. Indeed it is. So taken out in Palace, taken out in B-Apps. Where are the rest of Fnatic? In the mid area, of course. They've taken ladder room, but Ancient should be prepared for this.
Boost up onto the double stack there, and it's good. It does catch Disco Doppler. Doesn't do too much damage, but does force him to reposition. However, Draken is going to be loving it. They will be fed into his angle, and the bomb is now lost and completely unrecoverable. And speaking of unrecoverable, you may have felt like this lead that Fnatic had was unrecoverable, but Ancient, they're making it look pretty good at this point.
Yeah, we saw shades of Fnatic in that round with the aggressive play when Fnatic took mid and B apartments on their CT side, and Ancient pushed Palace with great timing. And they already had Draken semi-aggressive, looking for players moving up from the underpass position, but they have Doppler switch position, go even deeper. Great off angles used by him. They've been good with the off angles on both sides. I think it was Freddy B towards the apps with the CZ. In the first half, we had a very pivotal frag for a much-needed round. And now Fnatic move into a tactical pause. So they've got to find a way to break the defenses of their opponent. But I think one thing Ancient have done well is that they haven't been static with their CT plays. They've been changing it from round to round, and that's really important so you don't get that counter-stratted. Yeah,
I would imagine Fnatic will once again half-buy around the save weapon. They have the AWP and they have max loss bonus, so they can afford to get some Kevlar and some Deagles perhaps, and some utility around the AWP. And one thing though that we've seen from Ancient is that repeated mid-aggression. And one way to punish that is by hitting one of the bomb sites really fast, because most of the players on the CT side of things will be in middle. So there is a timing window there where you can be very aggressive, and you can also decide to try to meet that push in mid with the full strength of your team. And his Twist, oh, that's a close one. Does spot one player going towards Connector. Fnatic, mostly in the B apartments here. Set piece from the B apartments is very likely. But Draken pushing with this AWP would surely spell defeat for Fnatic. Because not only will you get the information, a kill is likely. And so now they know where the AWP is, Fnatic.
Oh dear, that didn't quite work out for Draken. There was a flashbang, but it wasn't in his favor. But the Molotov will allow Ancient to keep position. Now, again, we've got another situation where there's a hero AWP and a bunch of pistols. That smoke will make it risky to try and recover a weapon. But we'll see if they try and pick it up later on, Fnatic. They're still kind of poised for the B bomb site. The bomb is a little far back, keeping an eye, keeping the CTs honest towards mid. And we see Doppler and Grux are pretty deep on the A bomb site. I do wonder if we're going to see a push into Palace because they look to be spread pretty thin. Now, if they lose Rusty on the B bomb site, I do wonder if they'll commit to a retake, Ancient. Their money's not spectacular, so they may take the conservative route and try to hold on to things.
And here they go. Rusty, the AK-47, gets himself #1, but many more is required. But the bomb it needs to be planted pretty much now. And Rusty able to keep himself alive. Finally, the trade comes out from JW as Exist has space to plant that bomb, and nothing that Ancient can do to stop that. And a 3v3 off the plant with 2 AWPs on the B bomb side, that feels pretty good for Fnatic. Maybe they'll finally get around on the board, especially with that extra kill. Maybe there's an argument for them to go for the save at this point.
The rotation came in really late from Ancient. I don't think they started running from A until Rusty got taken out. So perhaps they could have had better positions before Fnatic were in post plant, and they're still going for it. Freddy running to his doom alone, and Grux will be going away soon after. So I don't know what the play was to try and make it more expensive for the T's there, moving on in his own, but it was not to be. A rough situation for Ancient after losing that first player. It made everything look very, very brittle all of a sudden.
Yeah, that's very true. Life certainly fell apart rather quickly for them. However, they still have a pretty solid buy here to work with. When I say pretty solid, it is as good as you'd like. Double AWPs on the T side for Fnatic is certainly a strange one, but of course that's what they're carrying through from the previous round. The smoke there from Draken to go for a fast peek to make sure that Fnatic can't use their utility to gain control. And he'll fall back after seeing nothing. So I say see nothing, but in seeing nothing, if you piece that together with all the other information you have, you can probably deduce what the T's are doing. Without the B apartment's control, they can't say for sure that it's going to be A just yet, though. And Fnatic have actually slowed things down entirely. So Fnatic are begging them to go for an information play somewhere that they can punish. But there is not to be any.
If you bear in mind, Fnatic have 4 smokes in the hole. They haven't really expended any utility. So they could pretty much do whatever they want at the timing of their choosing. 2 players look to move out of the mid position. And that is maybe the last smoke we're going to see around connector from the CT side. But they will be light on time, Fnatic, when they choose to execute. That hasn't gone where it was supposed to, and that stops his own movement around the map. Now, I don't know if Freddy B is close enough to hear this movement into Palace. I don't think Twist is going to see him as they turn the corner, but oh no, he certainly will actually. I thought Brilliant would have got that frag, but now the bomb and everyone else will head towards the A bomb site. Only Grux is in position to, well, to stand in CT. Can't really do anything about it as a conga line comes through. JW is moving through B apartment, so I think we might see a short plant unless he chooses to flank. Okay, the short plant's coming in, so he'll go up too short, but I don't think he'll be required because Brolan is wiping everybody out. 3K from him so far, and there's JW to cut off the rotation. Match point for Fnatic, and surely Ancient's money's been ruined as well.
I was hoping for the 4 on that spray transfer. That would have been beautiful with the Krieg. You'd almost never see that. But it's good enough. 3, they'll take it, and that's a critical round to pick up. Beautiful maneuvering there from Fnatic. You can see the problems that they caused Ancient by taking some of the map and then immediately vanishing and then just holding and waiting. They sort of convinced Ancient that they had to go and get some information. Here's that triple spray. It's beautiful from Brolan. He's really been performing today. And we're going to see now Fnatic on match point. And with the first kill, JW with the flick. Rusty going for the aggressive play in the underpass. They needed to do something. They have awful equipment. They need to take the initiative, but it simply did not work out. Freddy B with a deagle on the other hand. That certainly worked out. Fnatic still looking to be able to take middle, though. Ancient poised to contest, though, but no flashes, really.
Did he realize that there were two players? Doesn't. Oh, that's beautiful from Twist. All right, then. Have they spotted a third player yet? Now they have, and he will not be able to deal with that one. But there's only two players remaining for the CT side, and they know where one of them is, roughly. Toplan trying to switch for a weapon, didn't quite work out.
JW, he went through market already. He's in the window now.
He's only got 17 bullets, but maybe it's enough. Oh, he's gone for the reload, but they've moved away, so I don't think they heard him. Maybe there's a chance for Toplan. It seems they're rotating away. If they did hear that reload and they're trying to bait him, JW's in position to cut off the rotation, so it's the end of the line for Toplan, surely. More baiting with grenades, which has slowed him down. It might even be a knife kill. Oh, it is going to be, isn't it? Of course it's going to be from JW! 16-7, Fnatic with a strong performance on Mirage.
Yeah, that was great stuff from them. You know, they started things off really, really well. I think we saw generally a more polished team. You know, of course, we could see that there's lots of individual skill and flavor from their opponents, Ancient, but it just wasn't good enough. Fnatic, a more rounded team, it looks like, on Mirage, and we talked about how comfortable it is, you know, as a pick for them, and I think we really saw that with the diversity of how they played their rounds.
Yeah, I think it's a great game for Fnatic, but we don't see them as happy as you might expect, because I think their biggest tests are to come in this tournament so far, and that was a nice step up on the ladder, but there is plenty more runs to be had. So on the other side, well, yeah, I think it's the expected result. I don't know how much we can expect from Ancient at this tournament. I think it's all eyes on Fnatic as far as these two are concerned, but that is the first test passed, at least.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you're Fnatic, you're not supposed to be happy after a win like that. It's supposed to be business as usual. Yeah. It should be expected. And as mentioned, they're a team that should really be going all the way in this tournament. So we'll see if they can do that. I really hope they do, because I think some of the storylines on that team, some of the names, I can think of so many great moments of Counter-Strike that they've given us, and I want to see more of those.
Yeah, definitely one of those teams that you always want to see doing good things, and I think they were one of the teams who represent Sweden, definitely, like top two. So you want to see those kind of results from them. But how far do we think Ancient can really go? I don't really know.
It's hard to say, because it often, I mean, it depends so much on the map pools that they can play. It's like how deep their map pool is, and I'm not intimately familiar with their map pool. We don't really get to see them very often in top tier Counter-Strike. So that's really up to debate, I guess.
Yeah, I guess time will tell, and I'm sure we will be throwing to Sue right now, in fact, because she is with Fnatic. Sue.
Thank you very much, James. I'm here with Exist after a clean victory over Ancient. It was Sweden taking on Sweden, and especially in these best-of-1 formats, you just kind of never know where it's going to go. But for you guys, it looked really, really straightforward. So did everything go as you had expected?
Yeah, we were a bit surprised that we were going to play Mirage. We were expecting so it's a comfort map for us, and yeah.
I wanted to talk about, the last few months for you guys. You had the high where you got second at IEM Sydney, and then since then it was like 3 group stage exits in a row. So I just wanted to talk to you about, what that process has been like, because obviously it's rough. So, what has it been like for you as the in-game leader?
Yeah, it's been really rough. I think the last event we didn't do that bad. We lost against Astralis and Vitality, who are 2 really good teams. But I think the 2 tournaments before that we did really bad. We lost to underdog teams, and that's something that we've been struggling with. It's something that we have to overcome if we want to do good here. So it's something that we're working on. It's like a mental block, I would say.
No, for sure, because everyone has seen that you guys have more than what it takes to do well when you are doing well, and it just seems like sometimes it just doesn't work out. So what do you think isn't clicking on those days where things don't work out?
It's hard to say. It's like I think one of the big problems that we had lately was that we were traveling so much. We played a lot of tournaments, so we didn't have that much time to play outside of team practice. I think you need to play FPLs, you need to play mixes, you need to enjoy CS in order to be really good at it. So that's something that we focused on before this. We didn't practice that much as a team. We focused more on playing like FPLs and mixes with friends, and so I think that was a big part of why we've been doing kind of bad.
Well, at least for this first map, you guys looked really, really good. And now you're going to be in that winner's bracket final, and it's going to be North, who is looking pretty revitalized under Valda. So what are your thoughts on Valda and his squad?
Yeah, like you said, since they replaced Kirin, I think they've been looking really consistent. I think they have 5 really good individuals, a good upper, so they're a top-tier team, and we prepared for them before coming here. We knew that there was a big chance we're going to play them, so I'm just looking forward to the game.
I think a lot of people are looking forward to that as well. Congratulations once again, Exist. And with that, that winner's bracket final is secured. It's Fnatic taking on North in just a little bit.
I love the words there from Exist. A lot of insight shared, not only into their preparation for the minor or absence of preparation, but also a conversation started regarding where Fnatic's lows have come from. Perhaps the schedule too grueling. It is something we hear an awful lot. I have Natu and Maniac with me. We do hear this an awful lot. Why didn't you perform well? There were so many tournaments, we didn't have a time to practice.
Yeah, so scheduling is a big part of today's top tier Counter-Strike team. So you really have to think through which tournaments you go to, just because you need to have some time to rest. I think that's very important, but also you need to have some time to practice. If you think of this kind of a minor, right, you have Fnatic, a team that's traveling a lot to tournaments, and then you have teams like Angels, for example, no chance. So this is the only thing that they're practicing for, right? So it's a bit of a different, exactly. It's a very, very different approach for if you look at those two sides of the coin.
And we did, of course, hear him as well reference the fact that they were expecting to play North in a best of 3. And what do we have? A Fnatic North prepared best of 3. That sounds exciting. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
No. We're not going to talk about that game precisely. But just the fact that we are at the European minor and Fnatic will play against North in the best of 3. This is how insanely stacked the European minor is, and it's our next game.
Hey,
so
it's
we're
cool.
lucky.
I mean, that's the world we live in now. Counter-Strike is very, very stacked.
It's so stacked, and I mean, you take a look at across all regions. We've got a stacked couple of weeks of Counter-Strike ahead of us just to lock in who's going to be having a shot at the Mercedes-Benz Arena. What are our observations from this game, though? The picture we painted was Ancients underdog, lots of potential. We didn't get to see too much from Ancients.
Yeah, I felt like Ancients they just couldn't really bully Fnatic enough. I mean, you see a lot of those rounds in the first half on T's side. They were not even remotely close. I think that's an issue. I mean, if you would have been a lot of 2-on-2s or close situations, then you'd have a lot of ifs and buts where you can think if that one round would have gone our way. But it felt like Fnatic was just established every single time. None of the executes that Agent was trying to throw at Fnatic were really having that punching power where they would manage to like put a CT in an awkward position, and it just felt like a pure domination in the first half.
Individuals, I guess, was it just a case of out firepowered? I mean, Twist was having a fantastic game at the start.
Yeah, as we see here, Twist handling the AWP. JW also can do it, and suddenly you realize Fnatic have a double AWP really powerful when both players are online. And I think Natu played it very well. The first line of defense for Fnatic was too efficient, too strong. When you try and get to the bomb sites, if it gets to a 2 versus 2, if it gets to a 3 versus 3, it's a clutch. Maybe someone pulls a great play, a nice position, and you can see it happening. Yeah. But when you are losing these first trades so clearly, there's no way. Fnatic have the experience on you. They're not going to make the mistake, give you back the round. So as we can see here, Twist is on catwalks, cleaning opponents. Yeah. And then the second half, I think Ancient had maybe a way back in. I think their 2 first gun rounds were absolutely stellar. Draken had a very good beginning of the second half. But then we start seeing the cracks in the wall, Freddy pushing when he shouldn't have. And it's, they're back against the wall. When you're down 13-2 and you make a comeback, there's no room for mistakes. They did some of them. All in all, I would say logical result. It was fun, though, to hear Fnatic shout. Yes. And you could definitely see the derby side of it, because they would shout, "Come on!
I haven't heard Fnatic that loud.
That was interesting. That was nice.
Years. Brolin, of course, a new addition, and even him. I mean, that's a lot of emotion. Yeah. He's a stalwart individual. I saw a fist bump come in. I mean, that's big scenes. But he does seem to have a good grip of the Krieg as well. He's one of the few players I think he's looking very, even in the sprays.
It's part of the meta.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to get used to it, right? And it's a very effective weapon right now. The fire rate is still there as it used to be. We've seen people, trying to adopt the weapon, but having a lot of issues with the spray
Look
pattern.
at this. This was such a sick round and very comfortable, almost entirely spraying as well.
I'll put that out there. None of us would be able to do that.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Maybe I could have. No,
Yeah?
I'm just kidding. That's wrong.
You feeling confident?
No, stop. Don't quote me on that. No, I'm just waiting for the public to be outraged by the SSG, and then it's gonna change. I like it. I really like that.
I'm not certain that it will. At the moment, it seems like so many pro players haven't got to grips with it. There is still that risk reward. Like, yes, that first bullet accuracy is spicy. Yes, a scope and walking into a corner and popping ahead is easy, but there's so many more facets. There's so many. I mean, look at Nitro's clutch in Montpellier. Failed to win a 1v1 exclusively because he didn't know the spray pattern.
That's how it should be. That's how it should be. You should have to make a choice. You pick the weapon.
Familiarity or
Exactly.
or power. I mean, it's an interesting
And
one.
I like that you
Yeah,
have that
or
diversity.
if it's good for close quarters, or if it's good for long distance, I think that's a good thing about the AUG nerf, because it's good. Still pretty viable, for it's viable for long range, but if it's like a close quarter fight, obviously fire rate is gonna make it tougher for you.
And our next scheduled match is right up after the break. North are going to be taking on Fnatic. More from the Swedes. They meet the Danes for a spot and a step closer to what will be that major and, of course, the Challenger stage. It's a long road, but it starts and continues for Fnatic and North after the break.